Tracy. Welcome to the Be Beloved experience, first one ever. And we are live streaming on Facebook Live, so welcome to our millions. I think the one matters always. Shout out. I'm so glad each and every one of you are here. Welcome. We have been expecting you. The table is set for you. The feast is and will be lavish and abundant. This is soul food to fuel your life. May the table today satisfy your hunger and delight your senses. There's water here if you're parched, food if you're hungry, rest if you're weary, and companionship if you're lonely. Here, may you find what you most need and desire. May your soul be made whole here. So, in a moment, we're going to dive in and I'm going to usher us into an experience of all of that. And we have been praying for each and every one that is here and those on their way or those that are lost and can't be here just yet. And we just believe there are no accidents. This is the stuff of destiny, that the destiny that your soul gets made more whole on the way to becoming who you are made destined to be. So, a couple of housekeeping hospitality notes. This is family style, okay? Like good family style, because not all family style is good. This is good family style. You know, I caught myself saying this last week. I was like, yeah, good family style. So, if you get hungry and thirsty, get up and get some tea, get some coffee. For those that, I want to point this out, we have a big hot carafe of hot water, Nescafe, like the powdered coffee. What did we say, E? That was so European of us, so global. It's so the coffee doesn't get burnt in 3 hours. And also, so there's tea, and then there's water and food. Don't be hungry. Like, fill your tummy up and your soul up here, okay? That's the goal. Restroom is on the left. And if you're someone that, like, you need to stand up because you just need to move a little bit, like, don't stay seated. Just stand. Like, really, be comfy. Grab a cozy seat if you need more cushion on your tail feather. If anyone needs Wi-Fi, because I know some people need to stay connected with all the people, it's a Voda, and the Wi-Fi is restoration. And it is, in so many ways, restoration, capital R, okay? I think that's all my housekeeping. So, just a quick context for those who just met me today or someone roped you into coming and you didn't know exactly what you were walking into. Raise your hand if that's you. All right.
Oh,
yes. Yes. Okay, so what's happening with this is this book I published in February. We published. It was a publishing that many of you were a part of, and definitely Jesus was the primary collaborator. We published it in February, and when I was, for anyone who knows anything about a product or marketing, like you do a book launch and you're selling the thing. But in December, as I was praying and dreaming about how to share this book with people, I just felt like Jesus was like, yeah, we are not doing traditional book launches. we are creating experiences for people to come and be. And so we are loosely going to follow the mother bee. There are 40 bees in this book. It's created to be a So there are 40 bees in this book, and I'm not going to talk much about them. If you want to take the book with you, we have some. The hope and the dream is that each of the bees, and the mother lode bee that we're going to dive into today, which is the beloved, that the bees themselves just become kind of rhythms to help you nestle into Jesus, wherever you are in your journey with Jesus, or if you're exploring a journey with Jesus. I wrote it with a dream that it would meet people in all the trajectories of a journey of seeking, pilgrims, spirituality, faith, those who don't believe there's a God, those who believe there's a God but don't know about a relationship with a God, those who experienced Christianity and they had a really bad experience in a church, or decided Jesus didn't, like they needed to walk away for whatever reason, or they met some Christians that hurt them. Like there's all kinds, and then all the way to people are like all in, walking with Jesus now, and they've been there, since they were children. Like that whole trajectory is my audacious hope for this book, but also for the experiences that I'm going to be inviting people into over the next year. Because that's, for me, the good news of Jesus is, like, the table is just getting, like, how do we make the table bigger and bigger and throw the doors open and add more chairs, and we're all, like, family style, like, cozied up, like, and the people at the table look different from one another, believe different from one another, speak different languages, have wildly different faith experiences, but are sitting at the table. That's my hope for this book and for our lives. One of the other B's is belong, like in terms of belonging. And I personally believe that Jesus is the most extravagant host that there ever has and ever will be. And he himself is the one that helps me to belong in my body, in the world, in my family, in my work, and then helps me to, like, begin to experience, like, the world as being made of my sisters and brothers. And, like, I think when we follow him, he helps us to have this, like, really juicy belonging with one another and in the world. So that's just a brief context. I don't want to, like, get into the whole book, because what I really, really wanted for today was for you to be able to have a time to be. One other thing that I want to mention, two things, and then we're going to dive in and into Be Beloved. One other thing I want to mention is the bees, the 40 bees, and they're beautiful, and they're some are quiet, and some are bright and big and bold, and some are invitational, but they're all kind of positive. It's like, but I want to say that I wrote this book as Jesus helped journey me through the flip of all of these bees. For example, Be Beloved. The flip of Be Beloved is I don't feel like I am lovable, or there's parts of me that are, people or Jesus is going to see me as not enough. Or be plentiful came from what you would imagine, feeling like there's not enough money, not enough time, not enough capacity, not enough connection, like all these things. So I mentioned that because if you do, like for Be Beloved today and any of the other B's that you choose to journey through, my invitation is for any ways that you're feeling an ache or a prick or sorrow or tired or anything that's just kind of, my invitation for you today, what I've been praying is that Jesus flips that. And if you have an ache, that you experience the balm. If you are tired, that you feel his energy. If you don't know what you're doing next, that you experience his light on the next step of your path, and on and on. And then the last kind of piece I want to say is something around this word experience. So it's in the title, Be Beloved, an intimate. It's not in the title of the book. Let me read the title of the book that I've dreamt of for a decade. Be Beloved, an intimate, extraordinary, not experience, extraordinary journey with Jesus. Experience is in the title of today. A word about experience and keeping it real is this. That is my prayer, that you experience Jesus meeting you wherever you be today. But having grown up in the church and in a family that has invited me into that experience since I was a wee one, there have been a lot of seasons in my life where I have been desperate to experience Jesus, and I just don't feel like he's anywhere. Like I can't hear him, I can't see him, I can't feel him. So I just want to tenderly put out there, that is the hope and the invitation for today. And it has been my prayer for each of you today. But if you don't experience him right now, or even by the time you walk out of here, I invite you to kind of feel yourself invited into a journey of beginning to, or continuing to, or finally being able to experience him as you go along. And the other piece that I want to say about that is, a dear elder of mine, Bill Zelke, a Jesuit spiritual director, I was wrestling with not feeling like I was experiencing Jesus. And he said, Sarah, I want you to think about a fish in the ocean. Does the fish need to experience the water around the fish to be surrounded by water, by the ocean? I said, no. No. And he said, it's the same for you. You don't need to know. You don't need to experience the love of Jesus, the surrounding, never not with you, Jesus presence, for it to be there. So if you find yourself in a place where you just, either in this moment or even, tomorrow, you don't experience it, I guess I want to invite you into like opening your hands and just saying, okay, I don't experience it, and man, I need it like water in a dry and desert land, or like food for someone who's starving. I need it and I want it, but I'm not experiencing it. But I am going to imagine either the fish or myself being so surrounded. And just my invitation is just to breathe that in and have that be a prayer. Have that be a prayer that you can, and until you do, to have that be a way to meditate or to pray about the gap sometimes that, if I will just say in my life, that has existed and will exist again, where I don't experience Jesus. But this meditation has been a game changer for me. So that's my invitation for you as we talk about experience, and as I invite you into things. If you're like, that doesn't resonate with me, or I'm not getting that at all, or that doesn't even, move me or hit me. That's okay. Just take whatever we're offering and tweak it however it feels good to you. Okay, so I'm going to invite my man to come up here and sit with
Highlight
me.
of the time. You want me to bring my chair up? Can I sit in by you? Oh, it's right there. I didn't see it. Hi, honey.
Hi, Bo. I don't know that we need these.
Might not.
Do we need these? No. Okay, we're going to turn these off for right now.
Yeah.
If I know my voice can be quiet, soft, I'm working on that, but I know it can be soft. His is really loud.
Mine's very soft.
Please let us know if you're having a hard time hearing this. So before we do a little read aloud and invite you into an experience of being beloved, I want you to open, if you haven't already, your little brown bag. And in it are two things. The first is an excerpt of Be Beloved. And the book itself, the font is not, I just saw Lisa put her reading glasses on. The font is not this little in our book. It's just little in the, I was trying to create a little book feeling for you. And then, little. Yeah, it's little.
Goodness.
So couple things. We're going to read Be Beloved. For those who and then the other thing I want to say is open the two-sided piece. And then the way it works, you have to look at the page number. We're going to start at 34 and then go to 35 and then it'll flip it over. So I am sharing that for people like Brandon who like to read along and not be read to. We are going to read. But for people like me who just love a good story time, I invite you to put this down and just receive. Just receive. And then for those who are reading this, we're going to pause at the pray part, and then you can put this down and hold off from there. And then this other piece you can set aside for now, unless you're like me and you like to write. So on the back we have a little spot for notes, and we have a little post-it thing if you feel like post-it noting a word. There's a couple pieces there. It's just really for you to doodle and to write and to do whatever you wish with that. And then we're going to do a little thing with those bees in a moment. One housekeeping thing, since my phone rang, can you see if our live is still on one last time? I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to, before we read anything and any more words are spoken, I'm going to say a prayer over us. So for those who feel okay about this, I invite you to close your eyes. And if you feel like it, I personally love sitting with my hands open as kind of this embodied picture of being open to receive whatever your hands and your heart and your soul and your mind and your spirit and your body most need today. So Jesus, I want to say thank you for this moment, for gathering us together, for being the one who has ushered the invitation to come and be with you and to receive whatever our cupped hands most need. And if you see something we need that we don't even know we need, I ask that you just drop it into the hands, into the hearts of each and every one in this room. I just pray a blessing that each and every person experiences you with them, surrounding them as surely as the ocean is surrounding that fish. And I do pray that each and every person does experience you with them. Amen. Okay, so story time. This is from the heartbeat of this book and my life. Be beloved. And as we read this, I invite you to just be breathing very deeply. For anyone that practices yoga or any embodied dance or exercise, you know this. Like breathing deeply and slowly, it's real powerful to help us be present. And if we're not present, then it doesn't matter what's being offered. It's just gonna, I'm speaking from experience, it just bounces right off me because I'm so zinging. So I invite you to breathe and to just lean in and receive, be watching for a word or a phrase or in anything that comes to you as we go through this. That's meant for you, and it's not going to be the same for everyone. So, arrive. I arrive and settle in. I listen to the sounds around me. I breathe deeply, wholly, and gently. I imagine you, Jesus, looking at me with great love. Here I am. Help me to feel your welcome and open up to receive your deep and all-encompassing love of me. More than just thinking about it, may I have an experience of being surrounded by your love as I go about my day today and tomorrow and the next day. I breathe slowly and deeply for several breaths, thinking or whispering be as I inhale and beloved as I exhale. I am beloved by you, Jesus. Brandon's going to read the next section. So this next section is called Bask, and this is written from Jesus to you.
I have loved you forever. Yes, since the beginning of the beginning, I've had my eyes on you. My love for you has never dwindled, never waned. It has always been cascading toward, pouring upon, flooding around, and surrounding you. Even when you've not felt it, my great love has always been with you, because I have always been with you. It is mysterious, yes, but more than mysterious, it is simple. It is simply this: I am yours and you are mine. The Bible tells of a moment when my Father God spoke a blessing over me. You are my beloved Son. You are chosen and marked by my love, pride of my life. This blessing rooted me in the work I would do in the days to come, in love. Being beloved by and loving God was my life's fuel until my last breath. Dear friend, so it is for you. God calls you beloved, delights in you, and chooses you. You bring God great joy and pride. I know this to be true without a doubt because my Abba, my Father, and I are one. God's love for you is so big, so bright, it's unbeatable, unstoppable, and unending. As is mine, my love for you is infinite and inexhaustible. It's true. It's here and now. It requires you to do nothing to earn it. Who you are brings a smile to my lips and a twinkle to my eyes. Who you are today is a treasure. You are my treasure. Whether you know this to be true and have experienced it over and over, or you long for it and yet have never experienced it, it is true. My love meets you wherever you are, as you are. You don't need to go any place to be closer to me or do anything first to be loved by me. My love for you is the natural state of things, whether you believe or understand it. My love's glow can melt all that fatigues and overwhelms you. Sometimes I encourage you to take a break when you've been pushing too hard for too long. Other times I cradle your head when you become so weary that you can't even lift it up. I always hold your quandaries, your pain, your dreams, and your gifts with infinite care. That's why you can hang your heart, your what, and your why with me. Being beloved by me is the very thing that you were made for. It is your destiny, what you were born for, and who you are. You are mine, and I am yours.
Pray. I invite you to pray this with us. And as I read through it, if you like to read it and even whisper it, feel free. Jesus, your love is the oxygen I need to breathe when I feel I'm suffocating, and the whisper I need to hear when I don't know how much longer I can make it. Whether I'm struggling to get by or distrusting that I am your beloved, may your love light me up. I want this truth to become more real in me. Help me to take in and live the truth that everyone is beloved by you, so that my thoughts, words, and actions are changed in practical and real ways. May your great love for all people help me to worry less, especially when those I love most are in pain. Can you read that?
Because your love surrounds and cascades over them too. I want to take in all of what is true about your great love for me and for all people. May it settle in my bones, deep and rooted within me. I am yours and you are mine. I breathe slowly and deeply for several breaths, thinking or whispering be as I inhale and beloved as I exhale. I am beloved by you, Jesus.
All right, so go ahead and put your paper down. And I'm just going to read a couple questions from Ponder. Ponder. Do you feel beloved by Jesus? Do you feel affirmed and accepted? Not because of what you do or don't do, but simply because he loves you. How much do you think it would change you to see yourself the way he sees you and feel about yourself the way he feels about you? Take a moment and notice, how does this talk about being beloved feel to you? Does it scare you? Draw you in? Does it seem too soft or too much? Do you feel yourself pulling back or holding back? Just notice. Sit in silence for a moment and consider. Where and how might Jesus be nudging you to experience this all-encompassing love and truth that you and all people everywhere, since the beginning of time until the end of time, are beloved by him? Just going to ponder those for just a beat, a breath or two. And if it feels okay, keep your eyes closed or close your eyes. And I'm just going to invite you into a practice, just a private practice. Feel free to modify. This is all invitation. If it feels good, do it. If you want to tweak it, do it. But I just invite you to take a few very deep breaths and invite what we are saying is this reality, that you are beloved, to surround you. If it's helpful, picture it being like a breath or a breeze or air. If you're more of a water person, imagine it cascading over you. Or if you just want to picture love itself, whatever that is, surrounding you. The love of Jesus surrounding you. Or picture that fish surrounded by that ocean. And you, in that same way, surrounded by that all-encompassing love of Jesus. And remember, there is nothing you need to do to make yourself more beloved. There's nothing you have done to make yourself not beloved. Like, Jesus cannot not love you. He is love, it says in the Bible. God is love. And it says in the Bible, you are his beloved. So that's just is. That's an is thing. And if it feels okay, feel free to just stay where you are, but I really like physical prayer practices because for me it helps bring things from my head into my heart and body. So just see how it feels to kind of wrap your arms around yourself as a physical, reminder, experience, invitation, declaration, hope, prayer, that in the same way you feel your hands on yourself, like embracing yourself. This is true. The embrace of Jesus, of God, of the Spirit, the triune God, 3 in 1. Like, this is how you be as you walk around through your days. Just this, one of my favorite scriptures talks about the wraparound presence of God. The wraparound presence of God, just like you are wrapping your arms around yourself. This is what's true. Again, if you haven't experienced it yet, may this be a prayerful declaration that it is true, and a hope and a prayer to experience it to be true. And just notice, if it feels weird, notice that. If it feels good, notice that. And then you can go ahead and release your arms if you chose to do that. And I just invite you to continue this in whatever way would feel good to you. If you want to keep your eyes closed and just kind of breathe and be and be still, pray. If you want to pull out that paper and jot down some things that are coming to you, a word, a phrase, and anything, write it down. And again, just an invitation to not worry that you need to be doing something a certain way. You know, kind of go on like the treasure hunt that we led you here with the red balloons, if you saw them. Kind of go on a treasure hunt and like, oh, I think I want to write for a moment. Oh, I think I want to put my pen down and just be for a moment. I'm not going to be here long, just a minute or two. Just kind of see where you be and where you go. Okay, you can just keep doing what you're doing, or if you want another little prompt, the little brown bag that you have in front of you, there's the 40 Bees blessing sheet in there. And I just invite you to look at the 40 Bees, that beautiful collage. We call them our sunbursts. For those who are staying for Cultivate, you'll meet our soul sister Astrid, who created this beautiful collage as well as many other things. The cover of the book she also did. So I just invite you to look. These are the 40 bees, okay, that are here. And then on the inside, also, the font is little. It's not that little in the book. I invite you, if it feels like something you would enjoy, to read through these 40 bees blessings. And circle the one that you're like, that's what I need. That's where I am. That's a declaration of what I want my life to be more right now. Yeah, just kind of, so if you're more of a word person, feel free to look at the words inside. If you're more visual and you just kind of want to have less words, just kind of let your vision pour over the 40 bees and circle the one that's calling to you. And then if you like this prompt, I invite you to shift the wording. First of all, you can make it your own. But if you like the wording, it says be, for example, the first one is be home in his love. I invite you to make it a declaration. I am at home in his love. Or if your thing was be welcoming, I am welcoming. and put that, if it feels good, on one of the Post-its as a little Post-it declaration. Do you want to stay where you are? Yeah. Do you want to sit by your mama? Where is your mom? She was right there.
Okay, let's go.
Water, coffee, tea, snacks. Okay, feel free to keep, we're going to move on, but feel free, like I said, to, if you're in the middle of writing something, keep writing. This is your space. And a nudge to share your declaration, the B that's calling to you, with someone by the end of the day. We're not going to do that here. We decided to have this just be a little more kind of cozy, quiet, not as like sharing, but please share later so that someone gets to witness and celebrate and companion you and your bee. I have invited my man, Brandon, for everyone that doesn't know, this is my husband, Brandon.
Hi. I'm just not the reader. I do other stuff.
So much other stuff.
And I'm not a very good reader. You're a way better reader than me. I mean, you wrote the book.
So I've invited him to share something with us. And just so you guys know, this is like the first thing the first time this has happened in this way since, like, we just celebrated our 27th wedding anniversary on Thursday.
Did we celebrate it?
We did in the best way.
But we forgot to wish each other happy anniversary.
Yeah, thanks for keeping it real.
Coffee.
One of the B's is be real.
We didn't forget it was our anniversary. Just we forgot to acknowledge.
We
each other.
didn't wish each other happy anniversary till noon on our anniversary.
Well, then she called me at work, which was very sweet, and was like, oh, "I forgot to say it." Yes. So it was very sweet. But she called me. I didn't call her. It was a big bummer.
So we have been together for a little bit. And this has never happened in our whole time together. He is going to share his Jesus story. Like he did that when he was in high school on a mission trip to Mexico.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda. But anyone who's been on any journey of any kind know that every step and every stop, like the journey keeps unfolding. And so I am so excited because I get to walk with this man as he journeys. But I'm excited for y'all to hear it. And the reason, for those who are new, I'm just going to pause and say one thing. We started Seeds of Exchange 20 years ago. And speaking of journeys, it just keeps morphing in the most beautiful, beautiful ways. And the mission of Seeds of Exchange is really to ignite love in you, through you, around you, within relationships, and to fuel a kind of love and a kind of belonging with sisters and brothers around the world that is so like the stuff that makes life feel good. And the invitation is to do good, not to bring more value to you, because remember, you can't not be beloved, you can't not be loved. It doesn't make you more loved to do good things. But I believe our lives light up when we love. Our lives light up, especially when we love the most vulnerable. Our lives light up when we love the people that Jesus says, those that the world has forgotten, those are the ones that you guys get to go and bring me there. Bring the food. Unshackle those who are trafficked. Go on those rescue operations. Write the books. Write the songs. Do the things that are in you to do. And not one thing that is done is better or more valuable than the other. When we are a community and we all are sharing stories and we're all doing our part, like my Aunt Debbie's word right now is kaleidoscope. She is a kaleidoscope for anyone who knows her. It's like that's who she is. She just brings color and light and beauty and innovation wherever she goes. That's what community is. We're this kaleidoscope where, for one, today Brandon and I have the mic, but like any day tomorrow, this mic could be in any one of your hands and your story would be going forth and it would be beautiful and it would be different than ours. And thank God it would be different because that's what makes life beautiful. So we're sharing stories because I want to plant seeds of encouragement, of faith, of like, wow, like that's, his experience is so different than mine, or his experience is so similar. And just having that, like, so for those who love stories, I'm preaching to the story choir, but those who haven't experienced the wonder of how cool it is to be in a community of storytellers, that's another thing I'm inviting us to, with the fundamental belief that any day it's one of your seats in these seats and your hands around a mic. And I really hope and believe that that's what we're going to do together, is share this mic and light up the world with beautiful, diverse stories. So, I also wanted Brandon to be here because for those who have been around the world of Seeds of Exchange for the last 20 years, I've been the most public one doing the work. I'm the doer. But this work would not have gone a year without his very real partnership. And so one of the joys of this season of life is we're doing more together in the work, in the mission of Seeds. And so for those who have been around, you know that there's something, like Brandon brings like a special sauce to things.
Special sauce?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah,
Really?
he does.
Okay.
And his voice is so important. It's like bringing something new into our mission of Seeds of Exchange. The mission is changing as his voice is coming in. Man, that's so good. So without further ado...
we haven't rehearsed this. This is like, she's just going to ask me some questions. We'll see what happens.
So, by the way, is this still working without the mic? Okay, great.
Loud enough?
Thank God, because
Okay.
that's better. So Brandon, I'm going to move this back.
I just want to make sure you can be
So
seen.
your head, your curly locks don't hit the lamp.
Yeah, less locks now.
So, Brandon, and this is unrehearsed, so, you can also pass.
Okay.
Okay. What is
Pass. I don't know. That's easy. I'm sure that's really inspiring for you guys. Pass.
What is the one thing, without any leading questions about a thing, what's the one thing you want the world, starting with this room, to know about your journey with Jesus?
Oh. So,
This
and this is one, and now I talk a lot, so I have to be careful. One is it's not a straight line. There isn't a straight line, but I kind of thought because I was raised in an awesome Christian home. My mom's right here with my dad, and I'm not just saying that because she's here. But it is absolutely not a straight line, and it's not a zigzag. It's sometimes full circle, sometimes it's straight and then running backwards. Sometimes it's, I want to be in a whole different journey altogether and get off the road. And I used to feel guilty, like, gosh, that can't be right. But then when you look through the Bible, is there a straight line? Anywhere a straight line? And then you kind of feel like, well, no one cares about my story. And then I have to be careful, because that's either someone like that's not very influential, like it's not Jesus telling me to not share my story. It is someone saying, probably someone that's trying to make sure I don't share it, that, hey, you're not important. Just like what she's talking about. You're not important. Your story is not that great. It doesn't matter. Your story is arrogant. It's prideful. It's seemed like, oh, okay, then I'll just back off. And I have to get better at not backing off, because I can't remember the specific time when I heard a story that was someone's testimony, and I hate that word, by the way, just to be honest. You know, you've probably heard this before, like, there's no testimony without being tested. It kind of is like, man, that always has to be negative, or there's a test. Well, in my case, it is. That's how I listen, because I'm a pretty prideful person, and I need to sometimes be smacked on my back so I can listen and pause. But that's me. That's not everybody. So why would we say, instead of testimony, sometimes is Jesus' story? Which Jesus' story would be just like, I like better. But I'll just say it's not a straight line. Was that a good enough answer for you? We've heard that before.
Great.
I didn't pass.
That's great.
Okay, good.
So, as you just said, your mama, our beloved Mama Sue, is in the house.
Right there.
One of the most faithful, inspiring, deep, powerful, brave, resilient, real people I know. And her faith has been tested a lot in the last couple years with the health of her 2 boys. And prior to that, with the health of her beloved husband, our Mike. And caring for her parents and her mama, who are now both with Jesus. She's been through a lot. And so her faith is not a beautiful thing because her life has been easy. It's a beautiful thing because it's kept her standing. It's kept her standing. Mm-hmm. So you have a very faithful mama.
I know.
And you grew up with a faithful dad and mom in terms of a journey with Jesus. My question for you is, having grown up that way, would you say that you have always been walking with Jesus intimately? And how would you say your faith has ebbed and flowed if you were to kind of pull the camera back into being a kid up until now?
No. I certainly have not always been walking with Jesus, even though I had the example at my home. And that's kind of the thing as a dad now, that it kind of gives me peace, where, you know, I want my kids to have a godly home. And I want them to see an example of how to live in a godly way. But when they don't, it has nothing to do with me. I'm doing the best I can. So when I wasn't, I still struggle a lot. It's not because of my mother. And it's not because of my father. It's not because of the lack of their example. I had the example. It's just whatever was in my way, my insecurities, my selfishness, my pride, I wasn't hearing it. I wasn't seeing it at that time. And it doesn't matter when I hear it. It's that I heard it. And it doesn't matter where you are on that journey. If you're on the journey, somebody's going to be at the end, somebody's going to be at the beginning, everybody's at a different chapter of the book, but you're in the book. And so that is, I don't know if that answers your question exactly, but that's one of the things that certainly I I take solace in that I don't need my kids or myself or my wife to be in the same place. I can't even compare myself to this lady. But as long as, I'm on the pace and I can cuss at God, I can curse at God, I can be angry at God, I can be angry at Jesus, but that means I'm talking to him. And so that is basically where I come from, because I am a little bit of a stubborn person when it comes to that. I'm not necessarily the person that's just like peaceful and quiet, and I can sit here and listen to God, because I actually get irritated. Gosh, I sound so negative today. That when I hear people go, oh, I heard Jesus say this. I say, you really did? You really heard Jesus say that? I've never heard that before. But that's not how Jesus speaks to me. It's an impulse, or it's a feeling. And I used to think, am I less than because I don't hear it so clearly? That is not how I need to compare myself to anybody else. It's just, anyway. So that's that.
That's good.
Should we have rehearsed? Because I think I'm getting on tangents. I'm getting on tangents. I'm so very sorry.
Kind of tied to that, I would love for you to talk about how your 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 brushes with death, starting when you were in college with cancer and then most recently, have informed, influenced, impacted your faith, either kind of ignited it or caused you to get doubty or anything kind of taken that life away from your faith?
Yeah. So just some details. So for those of you that don't know, so when I was in college, my first, second year, I actually forget now, it's my sophomore year, right? I was diagnosed with lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, a very late stage. And I was a religious studies major, Greek studies, philosophy, and I was so glad science was over, and I wasn't going to have to do that, and I could just kind of relax and chill in college. And then I was diagnosed with cancer, and it was in a late stage, and so I had to come home and be treated and leave school. And then the person that was treating me, and there was a bit of an experimental protocol because it was a tough cancer to treat, he really inspired me a lot. So much so I was like, you know what? I think I want to be a doctor. And that had never been in my mind. So I had to go back to school after my treatment was over. Miracle, I was fixed, cured. And so number one, you think, oh, that's amazing, right? Oh, that's so cool. Okay, you're cured. So Brandon's going to have no doubt about what to do. So I then changed my major to pre-med, and you have to do little hoops to jump through to do that. And so I had to take some entry-level exams to get into these classes. And I failed every one. I failed, actually. I didn't pass them. Which means I couldn't get into those classes. And then I'm like, gosh, if I'm supposed to be a doctor and I really feel called to do this, why would I fail these? Anyway. So that's where my first doubt was like, am I really called to do this? And I think I even expressed doubt to my mom, my dad, and they were excited that I was called to medicine and that was going to be my ministry, maybe. But what was so cool and so clear, even though I had failed those entry-level exams, my roommate's father was the president of the college. So I was able to meet with him and say, listen, I think I want to be a doctor. I think I'm called for this. And I can't get into med school. I can't even get to these classes if I failed. He's like, well, I think I can wipe these incompletes, these failures off your transcript if you get A's. And I was like, I can take it again? He's like, yeah, you can take it again. And he goes, but we can only take them off if you get A's the rest of your college career. You have to get A's the whole time. And I was, holy moly. That was a lot of pressure. But has nothing to do with me. Nothing. All of a sudden, Jesus started putting people in my life to help. So my new roommate was a calculus tutor. My new best buddy I met the first or second day of school was a biology tutor. And I just started to meet these people that just helped. It got to the point that I obviously passed those exams, got into those classes, that I was doing so well on those tests, has nothing to do with me, that they thought I was cheating. Because how do you go from F to A? And then they'd ask me, like, how are you doing this? And I'd go, I don't know. I don't know. And sometimes I'd have to take a test again in front of a professor, like just by myself with him. And he'd be like, how are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know. I can't explain it. And I think some of you guys have heard me say this before, but like for organic chemistry, that's a class that's a hard one that typically medical pre-meds have to do. It's kind of a way you weed people out. And when I was first doing it, it just looked like Chinese letters. So I don't speak Chinese or Japanese or anything. So it just looks like confusion. And I always use the example of like, if you've ever seen a movie where like there's Chinese lettering and just kind of goes to English so you can read it, that's exactly what it was like. I would just look and it'd be organic chemistry and I go, well, I can understand that. So that's all to say that that was not me, certainly not. But then it's, that was one of my three. Then as I got older, I had some difficulty with the treatment side effects that you get from the cancer treatment I had. So I've had some heart stuff, and I had open heart surgery a couple years ago, and I have some CAS, and I lost my vision as a side effect from that, and I just had a stroke. But what that means is, it sounds heavy, right? It's not meant to be. But when that happened, I have to be constantly reminded, because I think of my stubbornness and my lack of really fully understanding the power of God, that I can move forward, like, oh my gosh, God put all these people in my life to help me be in medicine. And then when I started training for medicine, and even in residency, I was calling her saying, I'm going to quit. And like, why would I want to quit? If God put all these people in my life, it must be clear. But it wasn't clear at that time. And there's so many times I wanted to quit. And then I got to a point where, this is all me. You know what? I'm doing pretty good. It has very little to do with Jesus. It has very little to do with God. I'm doing all right. I like this. I have a wonderful family. I have a wonderful wife. I like my house. I like my family. And then I have to get hit with something else, just again, to remind myself I'm not in control. So whether that's I can't see out of my left eye, or it's that I had a stroke, or it's that I had to be in the operating table a handful of times. That's probably just how I listen, which I'm sure Jesus and God are very frustrated with me at times. That, gosh, man, just listen. It's right in front of you. Why do I have to keep on? And I'm not saying, gosh, I don't want to sound like this, that Jesus or God gave me cancer or made me lose my vision. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, boy, he's going to use that as a message, because that's the only way I listen. And that is not frustrating to me. If that's what it takes for me to listen, and I'm all for it. Because at the end of my life, I'm not going to care one bit. I don't care right now about what I've had to go through. That doesn't mean it was easy. But I just think for everybody, that message may ring true or may not. That is not how I think Sarah needs to listen, because she's a different person than me. But it's not better or worse. But I guess that's my three. I could go on and go on. Really?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I have one more question.
Just one?
Yeah.
People will probably extend time.
I know, right?
We have time.
Leave them wanting more.
Okay.
So I have one more question. What would you say, actually I have two, but they're going to be short. So what would you say to the kind of theological, just human cry of around suffering? When, just to keep it personal, your best friend in the world right now is really, really suffering and battling cancer. How does that,
It's my brother.
what does that do to your faith? And in terms of, if there's a good God, those sorts of things. And your personal faith.
Yeah.
Those two pieces.
Yeah, that's well, we didn't really rehearse that. I didn't
No.
rehearse that. I struggle with that. I struggle with it a lot. actually. It's what I'm struggling with. One of the things I'm struggling with right now. Not that. So my dad, just so you guys know, he suffered in one of the most godly ways, just humble and powerful, when he was eventually unable to move and then unable to speak and bedridden for a long, long time.
Like, a 7-year neurodegenerative disease. So it was a long suffering,
right.
and one by one, all of his systems failed.
Right. And then my brother, my best friend, has late stage cancer right now. So, and he's suffering from his chemotherapy, like you guys can all relate to. Everybody's been touched by cancer multiple times. But that is where I struggle the most. My personal suffering is nothing in comparison. And all of us who have a mom or a dad, or if you have children or best friends, whatever, you would much rather have it on you than watch them suffer. So I hate it. I struggle with it. It's the way I curse and scream at God most of the time, because I still don't understand why that needs to happen and why some people can be miraculously healed in an instant, but I have learned that healing doesn't always mean miraculous healing in the instant. And my definition of healing is different than probably what God's definition of healing is. And I know that sounds so trite, like, oh, that's what a Christian would say, because it's not just happening. You don't have enough faith for that to happen. No, it's too big for me to understand. It doesn't mean I have to like it. And it doesn't mean I have to be fake and say that, well, that's just probably, my brother's name's Cody, Cody's journey. I don't like the journey. I don't like it. I hate it. So that's my idea of suffering. And then this is just an aside. So Sarah and I, last weekend, rewatched The Passion of the Christ, which was Mel Gibson's movie from about 20 years ago. And I could barely watch it. And I've seen it before. And I actually don't necessarily recommend you guys watch it. Necessarily, I'm not promoting the movie at all. But it's just, those last 12 hours of Jesus' life. And it was so horrific to watch. And then that's, again, that director and producer's interpretation of what happened to Jesus. But regardless of what I have around me, and regardless of what my family is suffering through, or my children, or my wife, or my mother, it was nothing in comparison to what Jesus suffered. And the fact he did it voluntarily, really, for us, that is the only way I can even navigate it a little when I'm visiting my brother or remembering my father. It's not over. It's not done just because if my brother is healed miraculously today, there's still going to be something down the line. That's just how they live. But that's that.
My last question is, what would you say is the one last word? Something that you want to leave, like a seed you want to drop into the center of the room around your journey with Jesus.
One last word?
Just one.
Just one?
One.
Well, I don't know if I can come up with just one word.
That's okay.
So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in one word. I'll have to talk out loud. But what I take solace in as I've gotten a lot older is that God has a lot of patience with us, and I did have patience with myself. And patience is a little bit of a misunderstood word, because patience can mean like, it's just you just got to put up with some certain things. We know where the end is going to be and where things are going to end up. But I think with that patience with yourself, you have to be kind to yourself. The negative self-talk that goes in my head because I could be doing better, I could be doing this, again, like I talked about before, where I could be in my journey and it should be here. I don't know why it should be here, but I just think it should be here because I'm 55 years old and I grew up in a Christian household, so why aren't I further along? That's a patience perspective. I need to know that it's a long road, but I also have to have an inner dialogue that is not negative. And again, I have to be honest with myself. I'm not great at all. But I cannot just continually beat myself down that I'm not where I think I should be, because it doesn't matter. As long as I am taking those steps forward. And sometimes they're backwards and right, and sometimes they're in circles, and sometimes they're a pause, and sometimes they're off the road. But, so I don't know if there's a one word in there.
That's perfect.
think
I didn't
I
actually mean a
stretched
literal
it.
word.
You didn't?
I meant like a last words.
Yeah.
So that was
Because you have to have, yeah, the last words.
last word.
So yeah, and that's, again, I would say be kind to yourself, for sure.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, that's all?
Mama Sue, what's one question you want to ask your boy?
Pass.
That's the last one.
What's been
Oh, good. Oh.
the greatest influence in your life?
And it'd be very easy to say, like, you and Dad. No, I know, and it's true. It is true. But I think since I've now spent more time with this lady, and it's not just because it's her thing today, the greatest influence that's a physical human being is Sarah.
And that's what I hope you
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean, I live with her. And so I tell people this all the time. So what you see, again, it's not to build you up because you hate this, but this is really who she is. And I see her at her worst. And it's amazing. My children would say the same thing. My staff at work would say the same thing. Our neighbors would say the same thing. Our relatives say the same thing. So when I see Sarah as a reflection of Jesus that is unique. And so I have no excuse often because I have an example right in front of me. And it is not that, I mean, it's not perfect at our house. I mean, at any stretch when people come in. But I get to see a reflection of Jesus in this lady every day and something that's authentic. And you guys might not know this, but I'm going to bring up other negative stuff. But I was married before. I was married for about 1.5 years right out of college. And that was equally my fault and her fault. And I never thought when I was at that point, which was my lowest of low for like relationships, right, that I would meet someone like Sarah. She has to put up a lot with me. But yeah, it's Sarah. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. And I'm not the only one that would say that. No pressure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very moving. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Humbling for sure, because you have had a lot of people that you could have answered that with, so thank you. All right, thank you.
I'll be here all day. All day. I'll go sit over here. Do I sit over here now?
Yeah, and I'll take that off too.
Oh.
Did someone just say something to me? No. I'm just going to let him take his little mic off so he doesn't have to be quiet. Thank you, B. That was amazing. I could listen to your story
Oh, really?
forever and ever. Wow. Wow. So I just want to invite us to shift a little towards wrapping up our time together. But first, we'll wait for whoever's coming in to come in. That's always fun to walk into a room when it's that quiet, right? And everyone turns around. Are we good, Lisa? Okay. Yeah, come on up, whoever you be. Welcome, sister. So what we're going to do is I want to invite us to take a few moments to kind of slow things down and move into kind of a reflective, contemplative sort of a space with the stories that have been shared by B, our Be Beloved reflection. And the invitation is, again, around being present, that like the seed that we hope to plant is not looking at someone else's story or a book or an idea, but it's more about taking, like, what are the seeds being sprinkled in your heart that are even now, I believe, being watered and light's coming on it. The love light is coming on it. But one of the gifts of a time to move a little slower and to be a little still is actually to notice what the seeds are, or what your longing is, or what's being stirred. So I just want to invite, I'm going to put some music on. And again, if you're someone that you want to, pull out some paper and jot a little bit, I'm going to guide us through a time to reflect a little bit. And then I'm going to guide us through kind of an embodied prayer practice. And again, all invitation. If you want to kind of go another way, not close your eyes, not do anything with your hands, do that. Like, do or don't do what feels good to you. So I invite you to close your eyes. And again, if you want to be writing right now, that's also fine. But what I want to underscore for a moment is something that Brandon talked about, having watched The Passion of the Christ and having Easter just was last week. And to just, for those who know the story well, to remind, and those who might not know the story well, to say that I do believe, I love stories. I love love stories. My life mission is a copycat of what I heard from Mother Teresa, who's one of my heroes, who said she was just a pencil in the hand of God, writing a love letter to the world. And I believe that the greatest love story that has ever been told and ever will be told is the love story that happened when Jesus, it's a mystery. I have a be believing in here because I've had to wrestle with this mystery, and I don't think we can understand this in our heads, so I invite you to take it into your heart. It was God putting on human flesh to live among us human beings, so we did not have to go through hard things without his everyday presence, as surely as the ocean surrounds a fish. That's it. That's the good news. And I invite you to stomp your feet and to raise your voice if you hear a Christian telling a story that is not tied to God writing a love letter to the world. There's a lot going on in our country right now that makes me want to say I am not a Christian because I don't want to be associated with that. But I am a Christian. I'm just a different kind of Christian. So I want to just invite you, if you are turned off by Christians, I can be too. But please don't allow that to turn you off to the truth of God with us, God with you. So you do not have to go through hard things by yourself. You don't have to hustle for your worth. You don't have to stress when you don't know the way, because he will show you just in time, maybe not in your time or my timing. A lot of times I'm like, I would love for it to be resolved way faster than it is. But he's just with you. That's it. One of the other B's is be with. So I just invite you to take in the truth of that story, of the best, greatest love story, the most epic love story of all time. Especially if you've been hearing it your whole life. And if you have not heard that version of it. And just, I want to invite us to return to where we did at the beginning. Again, only invitation, but to put your hands out. And whatever, I don't know if you remember what you had in your hands at the beginning. Your longing, your hope, your need, your ache, your worries about yourself or someone you love, about the world. And just invite Jesus to be there with you and notice if it's at all different. Do you feel him, experience him with you in this cupped hands place? And if you feel a little like, I feel him, or I trust that he is here with me. As an act of gratitude, I just want to invite you to put your hand on your heart, like, I feel a little love in my heart. I feel a little in my being, in my body, in my mind, in my spirit. As like an act of gratitude that he's with you. And the other embodied prayer practice that I want to invite you to is, if you are one that has been walking with Jesus your whole life, but you're like, wow, I'm kind of like Brandon was saying, I'm ready to walk more deeply. Or if you never have and you're ready to have a journey with Jesus that's intimate and real and not all the garbage that can be thrown around in the world about Jesus or about Christianity, I just invite you to put your hands in a prayer place. In front of you or at your heart, as just like a invitation to say, yeah, I want to walk more closely, or for the first time, with Jesus in this kind of way. And I'm inviting us to do these embodied things because, again, there are things that it connects with in the realm of the spirit, those who practice yoga and dance, like what we do with our bodies matter. So, I think I'm just going to close us in a word of prayer. Jesus, I thank you for the gift of being able to be a family, a community that we can sit around tables and gather together and be in very different places in our journeys, our interests, our relationship, our with you, but that we can sit and be sisters and brothers that share life together. I thank you that we live in a country where we can sit in wide open spaces and talk about prayer and talk about faith, talk about God, without fear of not being able to do that from some outside source. And we ask for continued freedom for all people to be able to say and speak freely in this country. And I pray a special blessing on each and every sister and brother in this room. I just keep praying the blessing of love. That whether they experience your love around them now, or dream of experiencing it, or aren't even sure if they want to experience it, it doesn't even matter. I just pray for a blessing of love, intimate, real love of you, surrounding, providing whatever is the biggest longing and hunger and need. I pray for more moments to be still, to catch our breaths, to slow everything down. And we pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Whoever's here, come on up. You're welcome. You're right on time. Come in, come in. A couple invitations. Y'all, there's a couple seats. Yes. There's a seat here, and we have more coming. Oh, yeah, and there's a seat here. Look at that. 2 seats left. Welcome, sisters. Couple invitations as we draw to a close. I brought my prayer bowl from home, and this is a living, active, breathing prayer bowl. And again, I understand in a room this big, we all have very different experiences with prayer. But I just have an open invitation. If you have a need in your life that you need, like something feels really good, to write it down and share it. You can keep it anonymous, or you can put your name on it, and we will cover you in prayer. I promise. This is in the center of our home for a reason. So if you have something, an ache, don't go it alone. That B, the belong, one of the B's. And yeah, so please share. And then if you feel like you want someone to pray with you, we have a little prayer team here, prayer kula. Mama Sue, Mama Jen, my Aunt Deb, right here, some of my favorite elders. And Kat, can you raise your hand, honey? And Kat. So if that's new to you, I invite you to, if you're drawn in, but you're like, wait, I don't even know what that means. It's just there's going to be how can I pray for you? And they're going to pray. Okay? So, and if you want some privacy, we even have a little private room. So please, if you have an ache, a decision to make, and you need some provision, you need a job, you need some money, you need your car sold. Can I get an amen, Jean? We still need it sold, right? Yes. So we need cars sold. So anything practical, just please, we'd love to pray with you, for you around that. Anyone who loves to take communion, I brought some communion cups, and you can go sit in the sun. And if you want to take communion, but you don't know how, these 3 and that one can help with some communion. If you don't know what that is, ask them. And a couple things. I'm calling this fire hose of goodness. So for people that know me, that means buckle up. We got some things coming your way. Okay? I'm going to stand up for this. Upcoming quarterly gatherings. This is the first of a series of quarterly gatherings. Woo! Okay, so you will all receive a note from me, a follow-up with all this. So you don't need to write it down. But I'm just planting seeds auditorily, and I'll email it. Be still. That's one of the other B's. Is going to be this summer, and that's going to be in August. Belong. One of my favorite B's for anyone that just wants connection with community. And we have some storytellers coming for that are up to some mighty warrior of love, justice work that are going to make your heart sing. That's going to be in October. And be love, so that's be in the hands and feet of Jesus in the world where the world most needs it. One of my favorite definitions of calling talks about where your gifts and the world's greatest needs meet. So that's why we love doing those stories, because it helps me find more of my calling when I see, oh my gosh, look what that person's doing. That is so cool. Maybe I could talk with them or collaborate with them or take a little page out of their book into my own. So those story heavy, awesome. Now, a quick little thing. So the Be Beloved experience is rooted in Jesus. Wildly inclusive to all people. But I understand not all people are interested in that kind of faith-based storytelling and narrative. So we're creating bubbles where people are like, oh, I'd love to go into that bubble or go into dip my toe in that bubble. So just so you know, those, just for clarity, that's what's happening there. Cultivate this afternoon, for those who've been around seeds, that's like OG seeds. We've been doing this for 20 years, bringing people together, all walks of life. They will share their faith stories as a storyteller because, hello, that's so cool. And, but it's not going to be as explicitly Jesus Christian in affect, context, language. Okay? There will also be quarterly gatherings for Cultivate. This is going to be the only time we're going to do both in one day. I realize not everyone likes fire hose of goodness, and some people need a breath. So we're going to split those up into two. So Cultivate will be quarterly, but not on the same day as Be Beloved. Okay? So, Pearl Church, anyone who does not go to church and you want to come check out our church family, Brandon and I and our kids spent a lot of years doing home church, like 20 plus years. And only just about 2 years ago found Pearl Church. It's located in Cherry Creek. Wild, loud, rockin', awesome human beings. If you love loud music and getting up and jumping up and down, it's like really loud, beautiful. It's like a rock concert kind of worship. Beautiful people, beautiful, open arms people. Cherry Creek at 10 a.m. Let me know if you're coming. We have a section, and we'd love you to sit in our section. This Wednesday, we have the third of a series of gatherings that we are doing at our house, that 25 or so people have been going through the Be Beloved book. But it's not a book club, and we would love for you to come to our house, whether you've read the book or not, if you want to just be a part of a community. We're having dinner together, and then we circle up for about an hour and just share some stories, share how we need prayer, and don't go it alone. So that's this Wednesday. I would love for you to come to our house. Fatima, who, if you're coming this afternoon to Cultivate, she's from Ethiopia, and she is cooking our food. It is so good. So come if you've never had Ethiopian food or you want to try it. She's amazing, and we'll make room. Come. For anyone that doesn't know, after this is over, we have an hour lunch break. The sisters from Safe Places for Women, they're not here. 2 sisters from Safe Places for Women, which is Kat. Will you come up here for a sec? Is an organization that offers a safe house for women who have experienced being trafficked and are now free, and they know they need a community to make their way into freedom. So Kat works at Safe Places for Women, and 2 of the women made our lunch. They got here, you guys. There's a lot of schlepping involved in what you see around here. They met us outside at 7:15, all up and down stairs, heavy stuff, and then prepped until you guys got here for hours. So their names are Kenzie and Savannah. So send some love to Kenzie and Savannah. We love you guys. Thank you. And the reason I just want Kat, if you would, in like 2 minutes, for about 2 minutes, if you talk about Safe Places, for those who've been around Seeds of Exchange, we have one of our things we love to do is shine a light on the work that is being done in the world by people we love. And Safe Places for Women is one of those organizations. Some of my best friends work there. The founders are fast becoming some of our best friends. Absolutely jaw-dropping work. They are our Seeds fundraising partner for this quarter. So for anyone that has, you're looking to give tax-exempt donations to people doing really amazing work, I'm going to include a link in the follow-up. And we'd love for you to donate once, or you can join our giving fund, which is like, the idea is a monthly donation, so you get to make a difference around the world all year round. So we'd love for you to do that. And Kat, will you talk a little bit about Safe Places?
So, Safe
I'm going to
Places,
stand near you because of this, my
I
microphone.
have to have some notes here. We really serve those who have survived being trafficked. And they're transitional living and case management. They work in close collaboration with the Avoda Collective, and Avoda is the owner of the land, and they're also a nonprofit organization. They have community partners like Cross Purpose and Arapahoe Community College, and they give women the opportunity to start over and pursue their dreams. They have therapy and community and Bible studies and stuff like that. And I've only worked with them since February, but it's a place to come together, and they get to pause life, so their needs are taken care of, their housing is taken care of, and really focus on their own healing as they come out of trauma and learn to stabilize and self-regulate, and just beautiful things. But just beautiful women who have gotten in situations through really no fault of their own. It's they just need a second chance to get their feet back and to get some love and support, and certainly to get the opportunity to meet Jesus. Sometimes we're not always in a place where we can accept his love or kind of understand what that looks like. But it gives an opportunity, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. So Kat is one of the warriors that is working at Safe Places for Women. So quick context. Her campaign, this is a 3-building campus. Safe Places for Women is next door, right here. This is called Avoda Collective, and next door is her campaign. 3 different nonprofit organizations, all fighting human trafficking, all working together in different ways. Her campaign is the first in all of Colorado place where it's like a triage center where women can go when they are physically needing nursing care, needing, how would you explain? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crisis.
In a crisis, and they are there to offer functional medicine support, functional care. It is beautiful, beautiful. So I just want to invite you to take in this ground that we're on. And when we're talking about difference makers, these 3 organizations are really doing it. So if you're a prayerful person, pray for her campaign, Avoda Collective, Safe Places, because they're in the trenches and there is a lot coming at them that's hard. So send some prayer their way. Last couple things. If you got here and you didn't have a name tag that my Aunt Debbie, in the most beautiful handwriting, wrote, that means I didn't have you on our list, and I want to make sure that I do. So there's a little sign-up sheet. Just put your name and your email and your phone number so I can stay connected with you and get on Deb, if you're staying for lunch, to do one of your name tags. And then we do have books here. The 4 books that I've written. Faiza! Woo! Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. This is like all kinds of people I haven't seen in forever. Faiza! Ah! Okay. If you don't know these guys, before you leave, make sure you do. So all 4 of my books are here. You will see there are prices on them, but I cannot say this strong enough. It is a pay what you can. If that means you need to take them for free, take them for free. This is not about a book promotion sale thing. Yes, I write books, but take them, and if you can buy them, great. Lisa's your gal. She's going to help you with that. But when I say pay what you can or take them for free, I mean that literally, okay? And I think, let me just make sure there's nothing I'm going to be like, oh, you forgot. And if you want to stay for this afternoon and you didn't know about it, this afternoon we're going to do lunch from noon to 1. We have plenty of food. If you didn't sign up for lunch, we got you. We got you. And I am actually going to do a housekeeping thing on that, and then we're going to close in a blessing. Housekeeping-wise, for lunch, and you can even take one to go with you, okay? Because I think like Em has to be on the road. Take a thing to go. We have wraps that have tortillas, so gluten full, like gluten is in the wraps, okay? There's multiple, we have some wraps that haven't been made yet. So if you have a really specific thing, you can have gluten, but you want us to build your wrap. We have turkey and Havarti and hummus and lettuce and cucumbers, and they're all organic, all the good things for you, and we can build a wrap for you. We also have those all pre-made if you need to grab and go. We also have, if you're gluten-free, we have some basically salads. We call them bowls, but I don't know why I said that. They're salads. It's like lettuce and cucumber, and then you can add all the things in there. If you want some hummus and turkey, and that way you can make it however you want it. And those are also available to go if you just need to take it and go. As you eat it, just remember, like one of the themes was nourishment. So just may you be nourished, body, mind, and spirit as you go from here. And then we have plenty of room if you want to stay. From 1 to 4 is a gathering called Cultivate Creativity and Community. And we have 11 storytellers in storytelling sessions. They each have 10 minutes. So for those who have watched TED Talks, this is like a TED Talk sort of thing, but like even better, because these guys are so amazing. And it's all around the theme of living life creatively with a sense of cultivating beauty, no matter how hard it is, and for everyone. Not saying like beauty in terms of artistry and creativity because you're a painter. It's like all of us get the invitation to live life creatively and cultivate beauty in our daily lives. And I believe one of the things that makes it beautiful is this. So that's why the beauty part involves community and connection. So they are going to be sharing stories, these 11 storytellers in 10 sessions around how they are each in the most beautiful way. These are some of my favorite people in the world, living life and making a difference and offering